night, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So, we're going to be continuing the research on video games, history of video games. Tonight, right? As I said before, I didn't see it actually. I didn't see that. Hold up. I probably had to be more vocal on this channel. I don't think I ever said that on this channel. So basically, reason I'm doing this research is because I find it very interesting that a lot of people could come together to create something so complex and sophisticated as a video game, right? So I wanted to get into this research to like understand the history of the people behind the engineering and the ideas and the precision, like where they got their inspiration from, the history of them, and these sorts of things. All right. So before any we could start. All right. So a video game, right? A video game, computer game, or simply an electronic game that involves interaction with a user interface or input, such as a joystick, a controller, keyboard, or even motion sensing device. Okay, to generate visual feedback from a display device, most commonly shown in a video format on a television set, a computer monitor, a flat panel display, or touchscreen on handheld devices, or a virtual reality headset. If you have that kind of money, if you're rolling in cha-ching. Right? Most modern video games are audio visual, with audio complement delivered through speakers or headphones, and sometimes also with other types of sensory feedbacks. Example, sometimes the controller vibrates. That's called haptic technology, that provides tactile sensations. Some video games also allow microphones and webcam inputs for in-game chatting and live streaming. Okay, so video games are typically categorized according to their hardware platform, right? Which traditionally includes arcade video games, console games, and computer games. Computer games within itself also contains LAN games, online games, and browsing games, right? Browser games, I should say. More recently, the video game industry has expanded onto mobile gaming through mobile devices. Right? They have virtual and augmented reality systems and remote cloud gaming as well. Right? Video games are also classified into a wide range of genres based on their style of gameplay and target audience. Right, so it's about a wide range of video games. It has so much different stuff when it comes to video games. Right, so different target audience, different types of video games, different style of gameplay. The first video game prototypes in 1950 and 1960s were simple extensions of electronic games using video-like output from large room-size mainframe computers. You know, this is what that looks like. A mainframe computer. This is a real OG of gaming right here. Big boy. Has a chain on it and everything. Control your dog, bro. Get your dog, man. Alright, so in the 1950s and 1960s was simple extensions of electronic video games, you know, video like output from large room size mainframe computers. The first consumer video game was the arcade video game Computer Space. This is another OG. Shout out to all the OGs, you know. Computer Space. This actually looks like a game. Damn. Comes with 2 games. Right, so I'll leave it. Oh, this is Computer Space. Right, so this was in 1971. This game was made. Computer Space. It was released in 1971, which took inspiration from the earlier 1962 computer game Space War. You know, so there was just building games, all for games. You know, in 1972 came the now iconic video game Pong, and the first home console, the Magnavox Odyssey. The industry grew quickly during the golden age of arcade video games from the late 1970s to early 1980s, but suffered from the crash of North American video game market in 1983 due to loss of publishing control and saturation of the market. Right. Following the crash, the industry matured, was dominated by Japanese companies such as Nintendo, Sega, and Sony, and established practices and methods around the development and distribution of video games to prevent a similar crash in the future, many of which continue to be followed. Right? In the 2000s, the core industry centered on AAA games, you know, leaving little room for experimental games. Riskier, you know, experimental games are a lot more riskier. You know, coupled with the availability of the internet and digital distribution. So no more physical like CDs and these types of things. So this is a new era. So they say, you know, get rid of the CDs, get rid of the arcade games. That way just focus on the internet and digital distribution. You know, this is where we get the browser games and we get to buy games online and, you know, all of these things. This gave room for independent video game development or indie games to gain prominence into the 2010s. Since then, the commercial importance of the video game industry has been increasing, right? The emerging Asian markets and proliferation of smartphone games in particular are altering player demographics towards casual and cozy gaming and increasing monetization by incorporating games as a service, as a fee. Today, video game development requires numerous skills, vision, teamwork, and liaisons between different parties, including development, publishers, distributors, retailers, hardware manufacturers, and other marketers, to successfully bring a game to its consumers. So imagine that all of these different branches coming together just to develop a game and release the game. Each one of these things is big companies coming together. It's not just one like distributor or one publisher or one developer. It's like a company with multiple people, thousands upon thousands of people just coming together just to do this one thing. It's just amazing, just to see that. As of 2020, the global video game market had estimated annual revenues of 159 billion across hardware, software, and services, which is three times the size of the global modern entertainment industry. Oh, that's not. Hold on. Oh, I read that wrong. Which is 3 times of the global music industry and 4 times that of the film industry in 2019, making it a formidable heavyweight across the modern entertainment industry. The video game market is also a major influence behind the electronics industry, where personal computer components, console, and peripheral sales, as well as consumer demands for better gaming performance, have been powerful driving factors for hardware design and innovation. So that was a lot to take in, but basically a lot of people came together to develop one game, and through generations since before 1950s, I believe it had persons in a state in America that they came together during, I think it was 1945 or so, to develop a kind of program, a software or something like that. Hold on, I think it's somewhere I read it before. The Nimrod computer was 1951. What is this? No, it's not this. It's not this. It's not this. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay, you're holding the phone right now. Now put it in your pockets. Spin around like 10,000 times. And I can't find the source. But in a state in America during World War II or somewhere around that era, they developed technology. Oh, look at it here. Look. No. Massachusetts. It was in Massachusetts. I believe it was a college or something like that. And they developed a computer that was able to run, I think it was GTA 8 or something like that. One of the first games you know, and it was just for like to show what the prototype. I can't talk. English is a hard language, you know. Let me see. How to learn some more English. But anyways, they developed one of the first computers, is what I'm trying to say, and yeah. So yeah, in this first part, when they were saying that the mainframe computer and space computer, I mean computer space, space war, and the Magnavox Odyssey is basically generations upon generations of just trying to improve upon the first generation. So yeah, and it's just amazing just to see that something like that just get their hand on over and over and over. And as it getting hand on, is like more people gathering, joining, just to make it more competitive. So it's always amazing to see these types of competitions, you know. So yeah, that's it for the video. Until next time, we will go down into origins and learn some other juicy stuff about computers and the people behind certain aspects in computing and engineering in computers, and then the terminology after that. And hope you have a good night, a good day, a good evening, a good afternoon, a good life. Till next time, I am